My uncle used to say that when he was a child, there was a time when it rained very heavily in the village. My grandmother's house was huge, with lots of trees and red soil that turned into a lot of mud when it rained. One day, in the farthest corner of the yard, he saw a flame floating above the mud, almost like a ghost. He told to my grandmother about it, but she didn't believe him. The next day, he shared the story with his school friends, and they told him that it was a sign of a pot of gold, and he could become rich. From that day on, he searched for it every day for 20 years, but never found it. I think it frustrated him his whole life. Years later, part of the property was sold to his cousin, who found the treasure when he built his house. When my grandfather was young, he was the only who drove the only cart in the village. His job was to make deliveries with his horse and cart. He used to start his day very early, around 3 or 4 in the morning, either to take goods to the market or to make deliveries to shops. He often said that when he passed through the jungle, someone would whisper his name behind him. On one occasion, he felt like someone sat behind him but never looked back. He also told us that once at 3 a.m. he heard Baqueria music, that it's a traditional music from Yucatan. It was in the jungle and saw a distant glow, but he never strayed from the path. My father told me that when he was a teenager, small stones were thrown at his house in the afternoons for about an hour. But as soon as the stones hit the ground, they disappeared. This went on for 6 to 8 months. He and my grandfather would go out to check, but there was never anyone in sight. They even called the police, but the officers ran away without saying anything. Some of my father's friends came to witness it for themselves, as they didn't believe him. One weekend, they hid at his house to see who was throwing the stones, but the number of stones was overwhelming, coming from all directions. They left more puzzled than ever. Then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped without explanation.